Let's get it this morning, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, world. Good morning, world. Welcome to the #1 sports debate podcast, one-on-ones with your boy Murph and Roy. Just want to thank everybody for joining, tuning in, liking, subscribe, commenting on past episodes. We got a really great episode for you all today, especially here recapping week 6 of the NFL season. I think some have already titled it Upset Week. All right. I got my boy Roy here, man. Roy, happy belated birthday, man. Roy's out there in Mexico, Cabo, drinking a lot of margaritas. Good morning, man. Good to see you.
Good morning,
Got
good
my
morning,
boy.
bro.
You good? You good, Roy?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, man. Got my brother Brian Carruthers, a.k.a. BC on TV, tapping in.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Love to all
Got my
my
other
brothers.
brother, Thomas Andrews, a.k.a. Trig, tell the truth, man. Welcome aboard.
Yes,
Welcome
sir. Yes,
aboard.
sir. What's
I,
going on? What's
I
going
see you
on?
dolphined out. I see you dolphined out today,
Yeah,
man. So
I
we
got the
already know.
Mamba
We already
back
know
here
what.
too, man.
we already know what pick he taking. We already know what his take gonna be today, man. So just want to let y'all know,
For
man.
sure.
Hey, as always to all the fans, to all the viewers out there, we just want to thank you for joining the #1 sports debate podcast, where you get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Well, at least in our minds. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the first topic of the day, man. Let's jump into the first topic of the day. Roy, what we got today this morning for him, man? What we got today?
Well, Murph, like you said earlier, upset Sunday, a lot to talk about. Man, let's get right into it, Murph. Starting with the Jets and the Eagles. The first major upset of the season for the Eagles, actually for the whole
Your
NFL,
Super
being an
Bowl
undefeated
pick.
team.
Your Super Bowl
My
pick,
Super
too.
Bowl pick, my
Your
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
pick,
pick.
and Murph, I'm gonna still stand on them. But let's talk about the Jets. Are they playoff contenders? Right, coming out of that game. So that's the question to you, Murph. Are the Jets playoff contenders?
Are the Jets playoff contenders? Are the Jets playoff contenders? The Jets. Man, even though Zach Wilson knocked off your Philadelphia Eagles, knocked them off, shot the bird out the sky, all that fly, Eagles fly, I'm going to go no. Jets are not playoff contenders, not with Zach Wilson at the helm. And here's why. Well, one, the AFC is way too stacked. AFC is stacked. Who they gonna beat? They gonna beat KC, Miami, Ravens, Bills, Bengals, Jaguars. Who do anybody in here like over? Who does anyone on this podcast on this show like over the Jets over any of those teams I just named? KC, Miami, Ravens, Bills, Bengals, Jaguars. Zach Wilson, he's not playing at a high level. Now, if the Jets do get Aaron Rodgers back, which he's out on the field 5 weeks post-surgery. I know BCU had a torn Achilles before, and he 5 weeks already outdoors playing catching it like it ain't nothing. He kind of with a little limp to it, but I don't
I need his
see
doctors.
Roy the Jets being playoff contenders, especially with Zach Wilson.
Well,
It's
Murph. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
Yeah.
The Jets are playoff contenders. Here's why. The Jets defense. Let's start there, Murph. The Jets defense. They created 4 turnovers, right? And remind you, that's without Sauce Gardner, arguably one of the best cornerbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Reed, the second corner, who's a one of the top corners in the league as well. They were without those 2 key players, and they were still able to get the job done, Murph, defensively. So when you have a defense like that can fly around, make plays. You got guys like Quentin Williams getting interceptions. You got C.J. Mosley in the middle, the quarterback of the defense. Um, I mean, you just have so many guys creating plays. And then the other thing too is they had 0 turnovers on offense, Murph. So when you have a defense that can create turnovers, you have an offense that's not turning the ball over, and then you can establish the run game with Brees Hall. That's a formula for a playoff team, Murph.
Interesting take. Interesting take. But I don't see how. I mean, they didn't have any turnovers yesterday. But Zach Wilson has 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions on the year. He's thrown for more interceptions every single season that he's been in the NFL since 3 years ago. 3 years coming in the NFL, he's had more interceptions than touchdowns every season. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. And I would like to see what Trig, what you got the Miami Dolphins on over there. So and the Jets and the Dolphins
You
in the
already know.
same division. So
Hey,
what you thinking?
I have to agree with Murph. I feel like they can make the playoffs. I don't feel like they're a playoff contending team because I don't think they could beat either of them teams y'all named. For one, they haven't been in the playoffs in too many years. They got young players, they got good young players, but when you get in the playoffs, it's a whole different animal. I don't think they're gonna be ready for Kansas City with experience. I don't think they can stop Miami at all. At all. And Miami defense is loaded too. Once they get Jalen Ramsey back, they gonna have a comparable defense to stop them. With Zach Wilson, it's a wrap. You ain't gonna be able to throw the ball to either side. I don't feel like they could beat Buffalo because Buffalo has plenty of experience. But this is Buffalo. If Buffalo don't get that this year, then they done. So Buffalo gonna leave it all on the field. So they can't beat Buffalo. And I kind of had the Ravens going to the Super Bowl, starting the year
I don't.
off, but then J.K. got hurt. So I
I,
don't think they can beat none of them teams. So contending, no. Make the playoffs, yes, because their schedule is sweet. They only got 3 games I think they may lose going on, but not no contender, no.
I, I just want to take a interrupt for a second, man. I'm looking at the Jets schedule and how they played so far this season. You talk about the Bills week 1. The Jets held that team to 16 points. That's a big offensive team there, down to 16
Okay.
points. Then they faced Russell. They faced Pat Mahomes in week 4. They held them to 23 points.
Did
You
they
go to week
win?
5. They play. Yes, they lost by 3 points. They lost by 3 points. They lost by 3 points. They
Oh,
still held
no, I don't
probably
care
the
if you
best
lose by
offense.
1 point. You won.
I get like it's early in the season. Then you go to week 6. They go and knock off Jalen Hurts. I mean, this defense is only given up
Okay.
over 23 points one time this season.
S-
I mean,
Excuse
if you
me.
go
You
back
said
and
it's
look at,
early. Good.
go ahead.
You said it's early in the season for them because they lost to Kansas City by 3 points, but they beat the Bills in week 1. That that
Hey,
that's you. That was the first game of the season. Like the Bills, when they play the Bills again, the Bills gonna blow them out.
I
and man,
agree.
Plus 10.
if you
Go
go
ahead,
back and look
BC.
at if you go back and look at the Buccaneers with Trent Dilfer, was Trent Dilfer a great quarterback? People
They don't
hated
have a
Trent
No.
Dilfer, right?
Buccaneers defense.
I mean, I'm
Buccaneers has
sorry,
an all-time.
The Ravens.
They don't have a Ravens defense. The Ravens has an all-time great defense. This is not an all-time great defense. All-time great
How can
defense.
you
If you
say
look at
that?
the Ravens, listen, the Ravens held teams. They didn't score. Teams didn't score. Go look it up. They didn't score. They the Ravens won with a 100 yards offense. Like they defense scoring touchdowns, bro. You can't. They not. That's not this type of defense at
Go
all.
ahead,
Murph
And
Murph.
just
they ain't
told
the
you Zach
Bucks
Wilson.
defense.
Murph just told you Zach Wilson has how many touchdowns and interceptions on the season?
Yeah, four
How many
touchdowns,
touchdowns is
Exactly.
Zach?
5 picks.
And
That's
what's their record
terrible.
right now? And what's their record right now?
Yeah,
But they
but the
still can't
Ravens
look at
was undefeated.
they.
They don't have an all-time great defense. BC
Who
all-time
was
great defense. That's
undefeated?
different.
Who was undefeated? The Ravens?
No, I'm not saying throughout the season. I'm talking about round this time, 1 through 6. The Ravens didn't lose a game. What are you talking about? You know how hard? What the Ravens?
Man, let me
Oh, oh,
interject.
okay.
Let me
Here.
interject. Let
I
me
think here.
interject right here. Let me interject,
Go ahead.
man. The question is, are the Jets playoff contenders? And honestly, the storyline really is that the Eagles lost their first game, but we'll give the Jets their just due because of Aaron Rodgers and him leaving Green Bay, coming to the Jets. Jets getting a lot of attention this year. They've been so bad that they've had so many first round picks in the past coming seasons. But another reason why I truly don't believe the Jets are playoff contenders is because they did not score a touchdown last night in the air. in this league, you have to be able to throw touchdowns. You got to be able to pass the ball. You got to be able to get the ball in the end zone through the air. Yes, you have to have a efficient run game, but the run game, the run game of the Jets yesterday, they had one touchdown in Brees Hall. The entire game, they didn't score one touchdown until 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in the game. That's when Brees Hall scored with 1:30 to go left. If you get to know the name, what's his name? Zach Zerline or the kicker,
Greg Zerline, the kicker.
the kicker, what's his name, Roy?
Greg Zerline.
Greg Zerline. He capped 4 field goals yesterday, so I'm sure he won a lot of fantasy points kicking the ball. But I'm gonna tell you right now, 4 field goals is not gonna get you in the playoffs or be a championship contender. Now, if they do get Aaron Rodgers back with them playing that type of defense, I could see them being,
That's different.
being
I'm here.
contenders.
I'm hearing whispers of Kirk Cousins possibly getting traded over there. I've been hearing
That's
whispers
Ooh,
of
different.
Kirk Cousins going.
that's different. That's different. Kirk Cousins leaving Minnesota. Rumors speculating where that's coming from.
I can speak on,
I
but
don't know.
I can give my take on that. I
Yeah.
believe, I believe that Minnesota want to kind of tank, get rid of Kirk Cousins, whether he go to New England or the Jets, and go get Caleb to match up with JJ and Addison. I think they want to start over. 'Cause I don't feel like Minnesota feels as though Kirk Cousins can get them over the hump.
Gotcha.
Okay, okay. This is my final thoughts, Murph, on the Jets Eagles upset. When you look at the how the game went, the Eagles had they ran more plays, about 10 more plays than the Jets. Uh, they had a longer time of possession, obviously with more plays ran. They had more offensive yard. They had more yards, right? So when you look at, they have more first downs. So when you look at the stats for the one key stat that stood out was the turnover. The Jets won a turnover battle, right? Jets had 0 turnovers. The Eagles had 4. So when you could win a game when you've been outplayed, that shows you that you can win pretty much. You can win pretty. You can win ugly, and you can just win. So when you have that type of pedigree, you're absolutely a playoff contender, Murph.
Gotcha. Man, I mean, yeah, battle time possession for sure, field possession. And I think I just gotta agree with Trig on this one, man. I gotta go with Trig. I see you, BC and Roy, y'all on one side, but go ahead, Trig. Seem like you got something to say.
I'm just saying, no, I'm just saying for the last thing is it's playoff football. That's totally different from you beating the Bills in week 1, just like they just beat um Jalen Hurts them, even though Jalen Hurts them been winning, they haven't been playing like a 5-0 team. They've been playing okay. This don't look like the Eagles from last year. So they got out there and they hit them. They played them good. They won. Can't take no credit from them. But when you get in the playoffs, this team is totally focused, locked in on you. It's gonna be different. I don't think they can beat
I
none of
agree.
those teams when it comes to the
I think they
playoffs.
do need to put up more points. I do think they need to score more points in order to be bona fide contenders.
What's
Yeah,
hurting
cause
them is if Dalvin Cook and you got Brees Hall, you got that tandem, and they just running, both of them getting 100,
that's
then it'll be different.
I agree 1,000%. I was gonna get to that with Roy because Roy said, "Oh, they got Brees Hall," but he's always on the show talking about by committee, running back by committee, running back by committee. Like to be a good team, that's what they moving to. That's what it is now. Can Brees Lowe lead them being that one single back? I don't think so. I don't think so.
But hold on, they
I
got
don't think.
Dalvin Cook, Murph.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they don't
That's what
use
I just
Dalvin
said.
Cook. They don't use him.
No,
He didn't. He probably had 1 carry yesterday, if that.
Dalvin Cook ain't Dalvin Cook.
I'm
He's
not gonna
Cook.
say. I'm not gonna say he's not Dalvin Cook. I'm gonna say that Dalvin Cook is in a new situation. He just had 1,300 yards last year. He just was a Pro Bowl player last year, which was technically this year, which is in January. So so you telling me from January till October, he done fell off that bad?
Yes,
It looked like
Murph. Didn't I tell you
But
last week
if you
that
don't,
Cook fell off? I told
if
you
you
that,
in the
right?
game,
And Trigg saying the same thing.
if I don't give you, if you don't have opportunities, it's one thing in life called opportunities. If you don't have opportunities to be that guy, then there's no way you could be that guy.
I
You got to have
understand what you're saying,
Murph,
but
opportunity.
when you Murph, but when you get your opportunity, he get the ball every game. When you get your opportunity, you take an opportunity. You don't say you don't get opportunity. He gets
Yep.
the ball at least 10 times a game. What does he do
No
when he
way.
get the ball?
He hasn't had one game
I
this
can
year where he's
pull
had
it.
10 carries.
Can
Pull it up.
anybody pull up? Can
The-
anybody pull up the stats?
he has not had one game this year. He probably had one game that he had 10 carries.
And
Running
what
back,
did
you
he
got to
do
at
with it?
least, to get into your mojo, Saquon Barkley came back yesterday, right? Last night, Sunday Night Football. He had 28 touches. 28. Like, if you
That's
give somebody,
expected.
it's just like Stephen Curry. BC talks about this all the time. Steph Curry is a high-volume shooter. He shoot 15 threes. So he gonna make, so when he makes 7 threes, like, oh, wow, you know what I mean? He's shooting 15 threes opposed to Jordan going 6 for 6 from three-point line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want Dalvin Cook to get 3 carries and all 3 to be touchdowns, break 30, 40 yards every time. Like, you got to get your mojo going. Perfect example, Christian McCaffrey. He the number one back in the NFL, number one back in the NFL. Had 19 carries against the Dallas Cowboys, call it 20. Had 50 yards, 20 carries. Give Dalvin Cook 20 carries yesterday, and that game changes because running back to committee. I was trying to agree
Can
with you, Trig.
anybody
I
can
was trying to
anybody
agree
pull
with you.
up how many times Dalvin Cook touched the ball?
Carries
bro,
on yesterday.
Dalvin Cook, his efficiency has gone down, Murph. You can't. I mean, there's really no debate about that.
Roy, if that's that I'm just trying to show you a narrative, paint you a narrative. If his productivity in January, he was a Pro Bowl running back. In January, 1,300 yards, January of 2023. And you telling me in October he's digressed and fell off the cliff?
He don't look the same, man. He
He's in
don't.
Well,
I
okay,
love Dalvin Cook.
so why
I'm
you
a
why
Florida
why you
State
think
guy.
it?
He's from
Go
Florida
ahead.
State. I love Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin
He
Cook had
don't
3
look the
carries
same.
yesterday.
Hey, man, we got
Cook
30
had
Dalvin Cook
seconds
had
last
3
on this topic. We
carries.
got 30 seconds on this topic, man. Give your last final take. Are the Jets playoff contenders?
No.
Absolutely.
Yes, I feel like they're a Super Bowl contender if they get the right quarterback.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that's
All
different.
right, so we got Roy with a yes. We got Trig with a no. BC with a yes. We're going to make sure we keep this footage as the season goes on, as it carries on. Make sure we keep this footage, man, and have y'all boys back on here. Okay, going into number 2, man, our number 2 topic of the day. Great topic. It was not Purdy in Cleveland. It was not Purdy in Cleveland. I'll jump it off. 49ers, for all the fans out there that didn't watch Sunday football yesterday, I know a lot of you probably did, but some of you might not have. It was not pretty in Cleveland, man. It was not pretty in Cleveland. Brock Purdy, who everybody saying, oh, he jumped into the top 5 of the MVP candidate race, and he's the next best thing since sliced bread. As you all know, I haven't been on the Purdy train. I love the 49ers. I love what they're doing. I love Kyle Shanahan. I love his system. I love Steve Wilks. Played for both of those coaches. Played with Steve Wilks in Carolina with the Panthers. Played under Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers. I love their organization and how they treat their players. But I'm not a believer in Purdy. I'm not a believer in Purdy. He was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the 7th, last pick of the 7th round. He just was he showed you yesterday. Everybody was like, oh, he's unbeatable. He hasn't lost a game. Well, he did lose a game in the playoffs. He got knocked out against the Eagles. But they said, oh well, he's never lost a regular season game. So in the world's mind and some of these media guys' mind, he was Mr. Untouchable, Mr. Unbeatable. But welcome to reality. Welcome to the NFL. Any given Sunday. Any given Sunday can get it. So with that being said, the reason why it wasn't Purdy in Cleveland is because he lost to P.J. Walker of the Cleveland Browns, a Deshaun Watson-less team. And to go against the backup, PJ Walker, who in his career who has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, it didn't look good for him yesterday, man. It didn't look good for Brock Purdy. And I rock with the 49ers, but it wasn't. I'm not believing in the Purdy hype. I don't believe he's going to be a top 10 type of quarterback, top 5. You want to go top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL? I don't
He
see it.
that now.
Excuse me?
He's top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
He won't
Right
be.
now, today, as of today, he
Wow.
is.
Well,
Wow.
go ahead then with
What
your
are you talking
take
about?
then, Trick.
I'm just saying, you say you don't believe in Purdy. Right now, I got Purdy top 5 in MVP, so he got to be top 5 in quarterbacks right now, today.
I
Numbers
was
show
I
it.
was saying over time
Numbers
he won't
show
be
it.
a top 5 quarterback, and I don't mean to interrupt. Over time he won't be a top 5 quarterback. But go
Okay,
ahead. I'm gonna let you
but yeah,
get your take out.
I'm talking right now today. When we look at things, we say, oh, he not a top 5, whatever the case may be. Adam Thielen right now playing like a top 5 receiver, but
I
nobody wants
told you
to.
that though. I
Yeah, no,
told
but
y'all that though. I
hold on.
told.
Just
Okay.
let me just
Okay.
because you go off of names. You go off of he's playing better than he playing better than Patrick Mahomes. He
No, he's
playing better
not.
than whoever. Brother,
Keep going.
stop.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, the man has 1,400 yards, 10
Mhm.
touchdowns, 1 interception, which was yesterday. In this season, you do the math on that. He throwing for 4,200 yards this year, 30 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Is that not an MVP season?
If was a fifth,
If
you already know the slogan.
we're talking about what he's doing, right? Okay, so right now he has 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, one
1396.
inter. That's
But go
Right.
ahead.
1,400. That's 1,400. I know exactly what he got. We're
Mhm.
not going to go 1,396, but 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. You do that with 111 QBR rating.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
And I'm not a big QBR guy. I'm not a big QBR guy. There's a lot of other little stuff in there. It's for the AI and the geekheads and all that. No offense to you guys. But you saying
Explain the
now
rest of it.
what he did yesterday? He was 12 for 27,
Correct.
44%. Because in my math,
Correct.
44% gets you. That's an F.
125 yards.
Okay. Okay.
125 yards.
Is
125
is Jalen
yards.
is Jalen Hurts playing better than Brock Purdy?
Yes. But hold on.
Yeah.
Let me fin.
Uh,
Let me
go ahead.
can I answer your first?
You going off a name. You going off
Can
a
I go?
name, but go
Can
ahead.
I go off rebuttal? Can I rebuttal? Can I rebuttal
Hmm.
right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So he threw 1 touchdown. He had 1 interception. He
Hmm.
was 3 of 12 on third down.
Hmm.
He's only had one game this season where he's thrown over 300 yards. Only one game.
Hmm.
One game, only
You don't got
300
to throw over
yards.
300. That's fine.
He has a Christian McCaffrey. He has a
Hmm.
Joey Bosa. He has a
Hmm.
Brandon Ayuk. He
That's
has
on
a Debo
defense.
Samuel. He has a
Hmm.
George Kittle. He has a Kyle
Hmm.
Shanahan. So he
Kittle
is,
ain't
like
Kittle
I
no
say, he's a
more.
product of his environment.
He sounds
Kittle
like
ain't
a
Kittle
game
no more.
manager
But
to
go ahead.
me.
So
Okay.
okay.
Does
So
game?
here's
Go ahead.
here's my
Go ahead.
take. We're all subject to a bad gamer. Purdy had a bad game. And despite his bad game, they still could have won with the late field goal that was missed. Right?
Yep.
So
Correct.
that that what that tells me is yes, he played bad when you look at his whole career thus far, but he didn't play bad enough for him not to put them in a position to still win the game. So
Don't forget they played against
so
a backup, Roy. This was against a
right,
backup
No,
okay,
no,
but
no, no.
Cleveland is
Hold
number
on.
one
Hold on.
Played bad
Pause.
defense
Pause. Pause.
in the
QB.
Pause.
league, and we're
Pause.
going to get
Pause.
to
Let,
that.
Pause.
let him finish. Let Roy finish. Let
Okay.
him finish.
So what I'm saying is 49ers with Brock Purdy will be just fine. And again, just like Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, he had a bad game. He had turnovers, and so did
Terrible.
Brock Purdy. But again, they played the number one defense in the league, Cleveland Browns, and they had injuries. They lost Trent Williams. They lost Debo. CMC went down. So even with all that, you still lose because you missed a last second field goal. Come on, 49ers still good.
Yeah,
They still
yeah,
gonna be there.
the 49ers still good.
And
I'm gonna let
Brock
you go right
Purdy
now, Trill. The
and
49ers
Brock Purdy
still
will
good.
still
I'm just
be
not
good
a
enough to take them.
go ahead.
It's not the fact. It's not. I don't want people. I don't want people saying he's good enough to do this, good enough to do that. Let's look at what he does. Look at him play. When you look at him play, he don't make mistakes, bro. It's more than a game manager. A game manager is somebody like a Trent Dilfer when he played for what are they named? The
Ravens.
The
Ravens.
Ravens.
Or who we had, the Bucks had when we
Brad
won.
Johnson.
Brad
Those are
Johnson.
game
Brad Johnson.
managers. This dude is not a game manager. I just named the stats. 1,400
He's
yards over
managing
6 games.
games. He's
Okay,
definitely
so now
managing
do
the
you want,
game.
brother? He just threw for 252 yards last week and 4 touchdowns. That's not a game manager.
That is
That's
not a
not
game
man.
manager.
That's not managing. That's
Facts.
not managing the game. So okay, so he's doing above and beyond a game manager. This dude, look at him. Does he pass the eye test? Does he make it? Does he throw interceptions? Does he throw bad balls? Does he put the ball right here where the receivers can catch it? Does he throw his receivers open? At times he does all of that. That's more than a
Is he
game
playing
manager.
with the
Murph,
best
you,
running back in the game? Is he
I,
playing with the best running back in the game?
uh,
Taking
hey,
all the pressure
sir,
off of.
sir, listen. One thing I won't let you do is take something that I have and use it against me. Michael Jordan. That's what I'm saying. That's just like I was telling Murph. You saying that, oh, Steph Curry wouldn't be Steph Curry if he didn't shoot threes so good, or Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan if he couldn't hang in the air so long, or LeBron wouldn't be LeBron if he couldn't drive to the hole. Don't take away his assets and use it against him. He has those assets. You
Well,
can't say
those
if
are
he
things
didn't
that
have
he can
CMC.
actually do. I mean,
Okay,
what
you
you
can't
just
say.
mentioned were
I
actual
just named
skills
what
by
Purdy
those
does, though.
players.
Didn't I just name what Purdy does? I just told you. He's not throwing
He's
bad
managing
balls.
the
He's not
game.
making mistakes. He has 1 interception, 10
It
touchdowns.
sounds like he's
Now let's
managing the
look at.
game.
He just threw for 252 and 4 touchdowns last week, sir. That's what I'm telling you.
Don't say 252 like that's a whole lot of yards,
Like
Trey.
that's
We
400.
gotta
Uh,
talk about
hey,
you
Right.
got
I'm
if
not.
you ain't in the
No, no, no,
350s,
no, no, no,
400,
no, no,
come
no,
on.
no, 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 no.
Hey, can
You,
I just say
we.
this?
They didn't have.
Go
Can
ahead,
I
They
point
BC.
out
defense
one
Go
thing,
put
ahead,
them.
Trey?
BC.
They
Can I
defense
just
put
point
them
out
in
one thing?
short fields. Hold on. They defense put them in short field situations, so I can't throw for 400.
I
Here we
see
go,
that.
Trey.
Does
I can
This
that
is
see
a
make
that.
great
sense?
stat. Do you know his average yards per pass per completion?
Oh, he
Do you know?
yeah, but he get about 10. He get the ball down the
No,
field.
8.6. 8.6.
Okay,
8.6.
that's a first down
So
every
that
time I throw the ball.
no,
No, it's
not
not.
necessarily. First down isn't
Okay,
8 yards.
I understand that, but we're gonna get a first down. If I throw the ball on first down, we at 2nd and 2. Basically, what you telling me.
Hey, Trey,
I
you
mean,
brought up you BC. You still going? Cause I need to jump in on this.
go ahead. Go ahead.
You brought up last week against the Cowboys, right? And the
Who
Cowboys.
was
Go ahead. What?
who they were saying had one of the best defenses in football.
Yep. And Dak Prescott played poorly. He definitely played poorly, but it was also battlefield position. They lost the battlefield position. Defense was on the short side of the field. Dallas is still a top 3 defense in the NFL currently,
Mhm.
statistics-wise, and just what they putting out on the field. And you'll see that tonight, Monday night as well. The 49ers, like I said, one thing that me and Roy was going back and forth last week on was that they haven't been battle tested. They haven't went against. They went against Dallas. They beat Dallas. They was up for Dallas, but the games before that, they had played the Cardinals, the Giants,
Division,
Rams, and Steelers. That's
division.
not that they have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. And second to that, I said that when they get into the AFC ball, and you can rewind the film, when they get into that AFC ball, they're gonna get hit in the mouth. The Cleveland Browns, AFC team, #1 defense in a lot of categories. Y'all can still hear me? Can they still hear me? All right, all right. Let me see. All right. Well, we got a little technical difficulties, guys. We'll be joining right back on and give us a second to get this together. They calling back in now, producer. All right. Okay. All right. Hey, so we coming right back. Give us about 5-10 minutes. We'll be right back on air. Sorry about the technical difficulties.